I'll walk in and I'll be like, all right, today I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And by the end of the day, I have gotten to neither this, 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 or this, or this, or this, or this.
The thing that changed the most for me was when I started slotting time, right? So like
Cybersecurity basics for small business owners, what I wish I knew more of.
So when I bought the print shop or took over it, however you want to call it, that was one of the things I discovered is...
How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, you sure?
I'm positive.
Because your microphone apparently wasn't working a second ago.
It wasn't.
It's working just fine. No, cool, man. What's going on? How you been?
Good.
Isn't it lovely outside?
Do you know what I did this weekend?
What?
I went to... A friend of mine owns a cabin.
Okay.
And I went there this weekend.
Really? How was it?
Yes, it was great.
Really? Tell me about that cabin.
So I can introduce you.
Is it a cabin or a house?
It's a house.
More of a house,
well,
right?
Yeah, it's more of a house.
More of a house.
Right. Like it's cabin feel, but it's a house.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But no, I took my daughters up and went hiking and did all that stuff. And
That's cool.
It was funny because they couldn't wait. We drove up Saturday, right? So we stop at my favorite pit stop along the way, which is the general store right there at the Lehighton exit.
Oh, sure.
So we stop there. And we get out of the car and my wife goes, oh, there's an Easter egg hunt at 11, right? And it's like, I don't know, 9 o'clock when we get there.
It's
right?
a couple hours.
Yeah, right. So she goes, I don't know if we can wait for that. And I'm like, just, so we walk around, do the petting zoo, all that stuff. Then we go inside the store, you know, we come back out, we get to the car and my wife goes, oh my God, it's in 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's why I told you.
Okay.
Like 2 hours flew by like this, right? And then we do that and all that stuff.
Did you find any eggs?
Yeah, they actually did it a pretty cool way. They just literally had these buckets. There were dozens of kids there.
Oh, wow.
And they just spread them out all over. But instead of putting stuff inside the eggs, it was just about finding the eggs. Mm-hmm. Then they got to keep one. And as you exited, they had gifts and candy and stuff.
Oh, that's cute.
Kids could just grab whatever they wanted.
How many kids were there?
Oh, there were dozens.
Oh, that's great.
What I thought was really cool about it is like if my daughters would have picked up, I don't know, 50 eggs all with candy in them, they would have wanted all the candy, right? Because they picked the eggs and all that stuff. But because of the way they did it, it didn't matter how many eggs they picked. And as we were leaving, I was able to say, only 4 pieces of candy each, right? So I felt like as a parent, it gave me much more control over how much candy and stuff the kids got. And it was great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was an ingenious way of doing it, I thought.
So back to the cabin.
Oh, yeah. So the moment we left, I wanted to do some sightseeing, right? So I wanted to go to like Jim Thorpe and mine number 9 mine, whatever it's called.
Yep.
So I was all gung-ho about doing that stuff. And my one daughter refused to leave the car because she just wanted to get to the cabin.
Wow.
So we ended up at the cabin way earlier than I had anticipated.
Yep.
And then, you know, we did stuff there.
Now, did you call the guy before you got there so he could turn the alarm off?
I may have forgotten that part because I may have been a little frustrated with the kids wanting to get there so early.
Very true, very true. For those of you who aren't picking up on the sarcasm, he's talking about my house in the Poconos that he's always welcome to go to. I just asked that call me a little bit beforehand so I could turn the alarm off because I get a link with my phone. Your alarm is going off. Oh, great. Fortunately, I knew you were coming. But sometimes I have friends that, because they know the lockbox code, that just show up and they forgot to call me. It's like, why is my alarm going off now?
At least you knew I was coming that day. Right?
Exactly.
But no, it looks good.
Yeah, it's great, man. Yeah. It was, again, we had a flood there a couple of years ago, and the insurance company really took care of us.
You can't use the word flood.
Oh, you're right. You're right. We had actually, it was a water pipe break. You're right. You can't use the word flood. It's a water pipe break.
Anybody has that happen.
Yeah, it's true.
And
Don't
you call
use the word flood.
Do not.
Yes.
You need flood insurance for floods.
Yes. So we had a water pipe break that put water all over the first floor. And we had to gut everything and just completely redo it. So since we were redoing downstairs, we figured, hey, we'll redo the upstairs too at the same time. And that's what we did. So it looks nice though, right? It looks really nice.
First thing my wife said was like, "Oh, it looks way more spacious and open than it was."
Well, it is. It's a lot. It's a lot more.
Like, but we were there what, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
And she still remembered, like that was her first, when she walked in, she was like, "Oh, it looks bigger."
Yeah, it does, because it has a more open floor plan now, which is great. The colors look nice. Everything's more inviting. I added the recessed lighting and the ceiling, the fan. Maybe about a month or so ago, I put those in. It was a big open hole. I tell you about the squirrel. You know the squirrel story, right?
No.
Ever tell you about the squirrel
You had a
story?
squirrel in there?
So long story short,
once again, don't tell the insurance company it's a squirrel, because rodents are excluded.
Fortunately, there was no damage, but the contractor who was doing the work, he was great, and then literally just dropped off the face of the earth. No emails, no texts, no phone calls, nothing.
That happens.
Nothing from this guy. His website shut down. Everything. I God forbid, I hope he didn't die or something like that. But we have not heard from this guy. We haven't heard boo from him. Well, there was a giant hole in our ceiling, a 4 foot by 2 foot hole in the ceiling, right? And I kept like, "Are you going to come fix this? You're going to take care of it, blah, blah, blah." Now, I had no time to go up to the house, right? This was in like September when the hole occurred, or when the hole was there, because it was one of the last things he was fixing, was going to put the ceiling fan in and stuff. And I had no chance to get up there. And like 2 months later, my Ring alarm goes off and says there's, your alarm's going off in the house for motion detected in the kitchen, which is where the hole was. Like, but no door's open. What the heck's going on? And I turn on the camera, and there's a squirrel hanging from the chandelier, swinging back and forth, trying to get back up into the hole it came from. So I'm like, "Oh gosh, you gotta be kidding me." And I'm thinking, look, I got to get up there. I have no choice. Now, I have this groundhog trap at home, because we get a bunch of groundhogs, and it works beautifully. It's a big steel cage. You put, the groundhogs apparently love cantaloupe.
Okay.
If you ever want to catch a groundhog, cantaloupe.
Okay.
Can't believe it. And it works with squirrels too. So I take the cage. Now, squirrels are like mice. They love peanut butter. So I take the cage up there. I walk in the house, and my couch is to the left, and I'm looking, and the squirrel's just looking at me like, "What's up?" I'm like, "You little bastard." And then he runs upstairs, and he's gone. Like, you're never finding him. So I'm like, all right. I put the cage on a table in the living room, open it up, put the peanut butter in. I'm like, all right, it's a matter of time before he comes down. So I'm watching the video feed from the camera while I'm outside in the car, hoping this guy comes down soon. Hour and a half later, he's still not coming down. I can hear him running around upstairs, but he's not coming down. I'm like, I got to get back to the office. It's an hour and a half away. So I'm like, I drove to the office. Sure enough, I get to the office, clank, he gets caught. Now I see him like dancing around the cage, trying to find his way in. He finally finds his way in, and he gets caught. So I call a friend of mine. I'm like, "Look, can you go into the house, take this squirrel out, take him like 10 miles away and let him out?" They didn't take him 10 miles away. They took him to the park down the street and let him out.
He'll be back.
Oh, he was back. A week later, my alarm goes off again, and I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." I turn it on, chandelier, and there's this squirrel again, bouncing off the walls. He's hanging on the curtains. He's trying his best to get back up. Can't get back up. So I call a buddy of mine. His name's Joe. Like, not Texas Joe, different guy. And I'm like, "Yo, look, here's what's going on." That he was planning on going up with me the following weekend anyway to patch the hole. So the squirrel just got there earlier, and he's like, "All right, my buddy and I will come up tomorrow." So I went up that night, and I walk in, and remember the refrigerator's to the right as soon as you walk in, and the squirrel is on top of the refrigerator, and I'm looking around for him, and I just see him move out of the corner of my eye. And he jumps from the refrigerator across the kitchen over onto the couch. That's got to be 20 feet.
Probably,
it's a huge jump.
It's a huge jump.
He just did it, no problem, and then goes upstairs. I'm like, "Oh my God." So we have the bedroom upstairs in the loft, as you know. And so I take the cage, I bait it, I open the door to the upstairs bedroom, and the door's open, he's in there, and I can see him running around. He runs under the bed. So I put the cage down and I close the door. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna spend the night here. Middle of the night, I swore I heard him get caught. So the next morning I walk upstairs, and no, the cage has not been trapped. He didn't get caught.
Okay.
He's still running around. So I'm like, I was waiting for my friends to come. Meanwhile, I'll fix a few things downstairs. They come over. And we go upstairs. Remember, did you ever see The Great Outdoors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Bear Chase.
Yeah.
Big Bear,
Yeah.
Big
And
Bear
they're like,
Chase me.
they have like buckets on their head. And that was us, right? 3 grown men going up to upstairs to a room that's no bigger than this room
Correct.
here. Okay. And we got like brooms and sticks and stuff.
15 by 15.
Yeah.
Like
right.
give or take,
Exactly.
right?
Not big at all. I mean, it's not small, but it's not
No.
huge. And we get in there. And they're like, we're looking for this scroll. All that's in that room is a bed
and
2 tables.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. That's all that's in that room. And 2 end tables. And we can't find this thing. And like, are you sure it's in here? I'm like, I am positive. It's been there all night. It hasn't moved. I know it's in there still. And so we start pulling the bed out. And behind the bed on near the bottom is the squirrel hanging on for dear life, trying to like claw its way up, right? And we're like, okay, we know it's here. So my buddy decides, all right, we're going to take the mattresses off because we had 2 twin mattresses. We'll take the mattresses off. We're going to form like a dam and we're going to dam them in. And then we'll take the broom and we'll kind of brush them in. And then at the end of the dam, we put the cage. So the idea was he would run around and run right into the cage. And it worked beautifully. Except for one thing. He ran in and out of the cage so fast, the cage couldn't trap him. He was like, boom, out of the cage. I could not believe how fast this thing was, right? He's out of the cage. Now there's no bed for him to jump on. So he climbs on top of the mattresses, right? And in 2 jumps off the wall, off my shoulder, off my friend's head onto the drapes, and he's trying to climb his way up. My other buddy's swinging the broom at him, trying to get him down, and he gets him down, and he's gone because what we did was
I'm just envisioning like the 3.
Oh, it was amazing! It was amazing. This is 3 full guys up there trying to do this, and so we had to take all the bedding off, and the bedding's in a pile. And I was like, oh, we should have taken the bedding out. Of course, the squirrel's buried in the bedding. We're never finding this thing, right? So we're taking the bedding apart a little at a time, pillowcases, sheets. Finally, we see the squirrel. He sees us. He runs out of the bedding and he runs back into the dam with the mattresses. And my buddy has the broom behind it and just like escorting the squirrel. Finally, the squirrel runs into the trap and gets him. He almost got out again. He was so fast, but that's how we got him. 45 minutes in that room with the squirrel. 45 minutes. Unbelievable. So then we took him to Blakeslee, which is about, that's a good 40 miles away, 30, 40 miles away, and let him out in the park out there. And then so later on, we go back, we go to Home Depot, we get the supplies we need, new sheetrock and whatnot. That's the sheetrock you saw that was up there, by the way, the remnants of that. And my buddy goes up there. He's like, get a trash can. I'm like, what? And we pull the trash can, and it's just piles and piles of acorns and grass and all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It was crazy. So we sealed that up and everything's been fine since. But what a disaster that was.
That's funny, though.
So, anyway, we're not here to talk about squirrels. Although, I used to rent the place out, as you know, and I don't rent it anymore, but I used to rent it out. So I guess it's kind of a small business owner's problems, squirrels.
So, do you know what? Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Because people, this is one of those things you see online a lot. Go buy an investment property and do short-term rentals.
Yeah, go do that. Let's see how it works out for you. All right, so
yours started pretty well.
It started fantastic
because that's how we met.
Yeah, it started fantastic. I was using Airbnb, right? I tried VRBO for a little bit. I don't know why Airbnb just seemed to fit better. So I bought it we bought it in 2017 at the very end of like November 2017. I spent about 2 months. I was there every weekend fixing it up, right? It needed a lot of work, but I fixed this place up very nicely. And as I'm handy, I can do that. And we started renting it out, I want to say around February of 2018.
Okay.
And it was great. It was, the winter months were a little less, people only wanted to go for the weekends because of skiing and whatnot. But the summer months were like jam packed, right? I would say from the beginning of May through the end of October, it was just like every weekend was booked and it was awesome. Right. And it was consistently like that 2018, 2019, beginning of 2020. And I would say we were pulling probably $35,000, $40,000 a year in short-term rental fees, which was fantastic, right? And then the COVID hit, and believe it or not, it got even better because people were trying to get out of New York. Poconos, if you don't know,
New
are
Jersey.
just south of New York, right? Maybe an hour, an hour and a half drive.
It's a straight shot
down.
Yep.
And we had this one woman and her children that wanted to stay in the house, and they stayed there for about 6 months during COVID.
Phenomenal.
And they paid our full fee every night. Wow, that was COVID sucked, but we were making some money there. So then the restrictions got relaxed. She went back to New York, and we started renting it out again. And for about 6 or 8 months, it was good. But then the summer came of 2021. And I started seeing, and I found out later what was going on because I started researching it. Around that time is when people started realizing that you can really screw Airbnb owners by messing with their ratings. And what I mean by that is you threaten their rating and they'll do whatever you want. And I started getting people, not everybody, I would say 1 out of 3 or 4 people would use a rating to try to get me to do things like give them free nights or this, that, or the other. Usually they wanted some type of money back or something. And I have a text I still have it today, from a woman that said, if you don't give me 2 free nights, I'm giving you a 1-star rating. And I refused. And she gave me a 1-star rating, and I contacted Airbnb. I sent them the text, and that was the point in time where they shifted their mentality, so to speak. It used to be, from what I understand, homeowner centric, and it became customer centric. So that it used to be, if there was a problem, they would all generally side with the homeowner unless it was really egregious. And then right around COVID, they shifted to siding with the consumer for almost everything. So it used to be the consumer really had to prove some really bad stuff. Now it was the consumer could say anything. It's up to the homeowner to prove it wasn't bad. So this lady leaves me a 1-star review, and I contact Airbnb. I'm like, I have a text from here. I sent it to him, and the guy's like, yeah, I can see that. That's didn't say the words, but that sucks, but I can't do anything about that. And I'm like, so you're going to let me have a 1-star review because I refused to
break your rules.
And give this person money back. And they're like, yeah, I can't help you. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I was like, all right, I was just a little more cautious with the people I would rent to. And then the final straw for me, there was a couple more people in between that kind of sucked. But the final straw for me was the lady. She checked in with her family on a Saturday, because our summer check-ins were always on Saturday. On Tuesday, she calls me. Now, remember, this is the summer of 2021, and if you don't remember, it was next to impossible to get a handyman out.
Oh, you couldn't.
Electrician, plumber, whatever, HVAC, impossible.
Every single one of my clients was booked 6 to 8 months out.
Exactly,
right?
exactly right.
They had more work than
they can possibly handle.
Yep.
So, and let me tell you something. It's not that much better today. It really isn't. But anyway, she calls me on Tuesday and says the upstairs toilet is clogged. Okay. Now we have a caretaker that would go out to the house, and the caretaker goes out, and she's out there for an hour and a half plunging this thing, can't figure out what's wrong, can't get it to work. And I'm like, all right, we got to call. Well, I told the lady we have to call a plumber. And she's like, well, how long is that going to take? I'm like, I don't know. I'll call them right now, but I can tell you they're not going to be there today, probably not even tomorrow, because it's so bad. And she goes, I paid for, on the phone, she's yelling at me, I paid for 2 bathrooms. I want my damn 2 bathrooms. Otherwise, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to contact this and leave you with this review and all these things, right? So I call the plumber, and sure enough, he's like, no, I can't get out there for at least 3 days. He's like, it's going to be at least Friday. He's like, I have all this other work. And I tell the lady, and she's throwing a fit, blowing a gasket and all this stuff, right? Cursing this up and down the storm. Next morning, the plumber calls me and says, I had a cancellation. And he lives in the same development that I did. And we became friends. He's a good guy. His name's Dennis. If you're in Tallahassee Trails, look for Dennis. Anyway, he was like, I got a cancellation. I'll take care of it. I'll go over. Her son had stuffed a toy had put a toy in the toilet and flushed it. So she caused the damage that occurred. And she left me a 1-star review because I couldn't get it fixed fast enough. I literally told him, okay, Dennis is on the phone. I'm like, Dennis, do me a favor. Tell the lady I'm going to call her. I called her, and I'm not a big cursor. Get the F out of my house. Goodbye. Leave my house right now. I'm refunding all your money. Get the hell out of my house. And that was the last time I rented to anybody.
Yeah.
I was done. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
And it's worse today.
Yeah.
I see some of these reviews, and I've even talked to some homeowners and how horrible it is with people, whether it's Airbnb, VRBO, or wherever. They destroy the house. They leave terrible. You can do everything right, and they'll leave you a 1-star review.
Yeah. So I used to have a camper that I rented out.
Yeah.
And once again, same story. In our case, probably 1 out of every 10 is a bad experience,
Yeah,
right?
that's about right. Yeah.
The other 9 are fine,
Yeah.
right? But what I will give the site that we used is if there was anything wrong with the camper when it came back, like it literally didn't matter.
Yeah.
I could contact them and go, hey, we found this damage. Here's a picture of it.
Yeah.
They would go get an estimate to repair it.
Really?
I would send them the estimate and they dock their security deposit.
Wow.
Like literally, I never had to wait for money. Like they would literally wire me money before I had the repairs done, as long as I had the estimate, right? So we had a guy, and it was funny because he returned the camper when I wasn't home. So like it was sitting in the street.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really doing my normal routine with it.
Yeah, your due diligence, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like a couple of days later, I'm like, okay, I have to move this thing. But I go up, I'm up in my daughter's bedroom and I look down at the camper and I'm like, why is the skylight crushed?
What?
So I take the camper, I pull it into my driveway, I go get a ladder, I crawl up and I look at it. And not only is that crushed, the AC unit is tilted and there's rips in the liner up top.
They went under a bridge that they shouldn't have gone under.
Either a bridge or a tree.
Yeah.
Like the trees.
Oh, tree maybe, yeah.
The trees are more likely because
you're right.
it look like scratch marks, right? So I messaged the guy and I'm like, hey, did you drive under a tree or something because there's damage to the camper? And he goes, no, I don't know anything about it.
Oh, what you're talking about, sir? No, not that me.
So I message him back and I'm like, listen, I'm going to have to file a claim with, the site and go have it repaired and all that stuff. So I go up and get an estimate. So their security deposit is only like $500 or $1,000. The estimate to repair everything that was damaged with the camper, it was like $2,400. So I filed the claim. They immediately send me the $1,000 security deposit that the guy had. And then they call me 2 days later from the insurance company and they're like, hey, we see that there's a discrepancy between the repairs. And they're like, are you still taking it to the place you got the estimate from? And I was like, sure. They're like, okay, we'll wire you the money later today.
Wow.
And they're like, just if there's anything else, call us, right? So as we go in to get it repaired, the guys found something else that was damaged, like another $400.
Jeez.
So I literally emailed the insurance company. I'm like, hey, they found this as well that's related to the damage. Money was in my account that afternoon.
That's crazy.
I was like, but that's the thing. Like, that's the type of company that I would want to.
That's who you want to work with, right?
Yes, and
VRBO may be that way. I'm not sure. I never really worked with them. I've heard good things about them. Airbnb used to be like that. We did have an issue early on. They took care of it pretty quickly. Later on, these people weren't bad. They were just slob. They weren't doing anything of hurt, but when I walk in, because the cleaning service we were using, the lady was out of town, so I was going to go up to just straighten up and whatnot. And I walk in, it was a day and a half after they checked out because I couldn't get up that day. So I think they checked out on Sunday and I came up on Tuesday or something. I walk in and all the lights are on, number one. Okay, fine, whatever. All the lights are on. But I see this gigantic trash bag. I mean, that thing had to be this tall, right? Just filled with bottles of liquor and stuff. And something oozing out of the bottom of it.
Oh, that's
all over the floor.
That's the
right.
best.
I'm like, oh God, this is going to be a problem to clean up. And I see, this is before the renovations, and I see burn marks on the floor from cigarettes and stuff like that. I'm like, oh great, they were smoking in the house too. Lovely. And I go in the other room, the back door's wide open, and it's been open for a day and a half. So who the hell knows what the hell crawled into the house, right? And then I go upstairs and the water is running in the shower. It's been running for a day and a half, or at least a day and a half since. I was like, what the heck did these people do? And so I call Airbnb and I'm like explaining everything to them. And they're like, well, is there anything damaged? And I said, well, the floor has those burn marks. I guess that's really the only technical damage. And they're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, I'm going to have to spend like 3 times as much money to get this place cleaned.
Meanwhile,
my electric bill zoom, my water bill zoom, Who knows what came in and out of the house? And you're telling me there's nothing? No, there's nothing we can do because there's no damage. So frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's really, we had issues with people returning the camper like dirty.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime there was any type of damage. Huh?
That's a cleaning fee.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's fantastic.
But we wouldn't even add it, right? Like there were a couple of people where minor things had gone wrong. Something was damaged, a handle, like it's a damn camper. Like it's going to fail. Right. Like it's an apartment on wheels that's designed for, I think when I was talking to the guy, he said they design campers for 16 trips, I think.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Then they want them to start falling apart.
Wow.
That's why the warranty is the way it is. So they calculate the average trip the consumer takes, which is like 4 a year. So they warranty everything for 3 years so that you can fit in the 16 trips and then stuff is going to start breaking.
Nice.
And that's just, as a camp owner, stuff is going to start breaking. So you just start preparing for it, right? Like every time we would take the camper somewhere, I knew when we got back home that I would have 2 to 3 hours of repairs to do when we got home.
Right.
It's just part of owning a camper.
It's part of owning a camper. Wow. Good to know.
But yeah, I would hands down use that company again after my experience with them.
That's great.
Yeah. But I've heard the Airbnb horror stories now, and I'm like,
it's a shame because it was great. It was great if they were great people at first.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what happened.
We were thinking about doing the same thing until I heard your horror stories, and then 2 other people that I know started telling me the same thing, and I'm like, now I may just buy a long-term rental, right, instead of short-term.
You don't make as much money, but you also don't have the headaches either.
Correct.
All right, so I think at some point today we should probably start talking about some people's issues on Reddit, huh? What do you think?
We should.
Should we do that?
Yeah. But I mean, this is all business related.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
These are like side gigs.
But these are our problems. Let's talk about other people's problems.
I think other people have had these same problems.
They probably have. Anything brought to us by a sponsor today?
Oh.
A non-sponsor?
No. So our future sponsor, available in light and diet. I don't have the diet today because my guy that's supposed to be ordering me, because the diet is really hard to find.
Is it?
Yeah. This I can find everywhere. The diet one in cans.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what size cans.
All right. So Arizona Tea, if you're listening, we need a shipment of diet cans sent to us.
Yes.
For gummy.
Or even send it to a vendor. I'll buy it. Like the reason they've been selling out is probably because like when I discovered it, I started buying it. So whenever I see the diet in cans, I buy whatever cases are available at that location.
You know, this brings up another point actually before we get onto this. So being able to find things that the vendors won't send out. So there's a non-alcoholic beer made by a company called Athletic, right? I don't know if you've heard. Wow, what a good beer! I mean, if we can't get them to sponsor, I want Athletic sponsoring us. What a fantastic beer! So I have a kegerator at home, right? You've seen it; it's great. I love that thing. But I've really gotten into the non-alcoholic beers over the last year. In fact, with the exception of a couple of times, I really don't know when the last time I had an actual beer. It's been a while. So our buddy Mike Bound owns a beer distributor up the street, Bounds Beverages, and
he's actually the one getting me the diets.
Okay, he's been battling with Athletic to get them to deliver because they do make kegs for this stuff. They make sixtels,
right?
And he's been battling with them to get them to ship him some sixtels to sell to me. And the reason they won't sell it is because they're not convinced that the beer distributors will keep the kegs cold because that stuff, because it's not actual beer, needs to be kept cold.
Right.
Right. And so he's like, that's ridiculous. Of course I want to keep it cold. And he's sending them pictures of his freezer and everything like that.
Yeah, his fridge.
Like,
he has massive fridges.
Massive. And they still won't sell it to him. I can't believe it. So Athletic, if you're listening, you got a customer right here who wants a sixtel in his house. Okay, make it happen. Why is that so hard?
Next time Mike Bound from Bound Beverages calls you and asks for them, please ship them.
All right,
but I get it, like because even like Guinness is travel sensitive.
Oh yeah,
right. So the further you get away from where it's made, the more it changes.
Right.
So like I would get if they would. For the integrity, this is where like protecting your brand comes in, right? So let's say they do send it to a beer distributor that doesn't refrigerate it.
Oh, sure.
Lets it sit out, sells it to a customer. The customer goes home.
And
right?
terrible beer and gives it a bad, gives it a bad review.
Horrible.
Or
like now he tells all his friends about how bad this Athletic beer is, when it really had nothing to do with the beer. It had everything to do with the distributor, right? So I understand the brand protection.
Yeah, but when the distributor is telling you and guaranteeing that that's not going to happen with visual evidence,
I get it. I mean, it also depends on how big they are, because like some companies just set a policy and they don't care.
Yeah.
Like it's just a rule. Like we do not sell this item to distributors.
But they need to sell this. They need to sell 6 over there. All right. Let's actually get into Reddit today.
Yes.
Reddit. All right. Before we keep going, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already.
Oh, and the like button. The like button's our friend.
The like button is our friend. Yes, we do like the like button. So please hit that too.
And thanks for the support. Let's keep it moving.
So we're in the small business subreddit today. This is from an analyst, Remat, who says, what's something people think is easy about running a small business, but actually isn't? Do we have enough time?
I don't know.
We have enough time for this. All right. And then they said, for me, it's time management. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone assumes that because you're your own boss, you can just set your own hours and it's all super flexible. Wow. Yes. Well,
yeah. It's called 24/7.
Beautiful. He's absolutely he's absolutely right about this though. Everyone thinks, you're your own boss. You can do whatever you want. The hell I can. Sometimes I have more restrictions on me than you ever will as an employee.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Moving on. In reality, you wear 10 different hats a day, get pulled in every direction, spend more time reacting than doing the work you actually planned. Your to-do list grows faster than it shrinks, and free time usually means catching up on something you forgot. It's not just about working hard. It's about constantly deciding what matters most, even when everything feels important. What's something others assumed would be simple, but turned out to be way harder than expected for you?
People management.
Oh, please. Yes. Brilliant. Go ahead.
Because it's one of those, you assume that people that come and work actually want to work. And then you quickly find out that a lot of people just want a subscription to money.
A subscription to money, yes.
For the privilege of showing up at your location.
If they show up.
If they show up,
on
right?
time.
Now, the last time I had that experience, there was no COVID, there was no working from home, right? So like everybody showed up at their office. But yeah, I remember we had one that was like, I would go like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working on this project. And I'm like, okay, it's a 20-minute project. I'd come back 3 hours later. What are you doing? Oh, I'm still trying to wrap this up. What? Like, what?
What were you doing all this time?
Yeah, what are you going to do with the other 2.5 hours you sat here? Because you've not been working on this for 3 hours.
Yeah,
like clearly not, right? But yeah, managing people and when the wrong person gets hired into your team, managing the drama, right? It's like being a kindergarten teacher. Well, Johnny said that he was going to take care of it, and then he didn't, and now I'm full. Okay, let's go talk to Johnny, right? Johnny, use a bug and a wish, right? It bugs me when you don't deliver your project on time. I wish you would. Like, it's, I swear sometimes. Yeah, that's what they learn in kindergarten.
That's so funny.
It bugs me when you call me names. I wish you would be nice to me, right?
Yeah, I know where you're going. It's funny.
So I use it all the time now. I'm like, let's use a bug and a wish when we're complaining about our fellow employees. What bugs you about it, and what would you wish they did instead, right? But yeah, like some of the petty stuff that you got to deal with when it comes to having employees is the thing that probably surprised me the most. Like, don't get me wrong, the vast majority of the people that you hire are going to end up being good and not be a problem. But when you get that one that's like a kindergartner, it throws everything into turmoil.
Oh, sure.
Right? Like that's something I was not expecting. Like I was expecting a bad employee to be bad. I wasn't expecting the trickle down effect.
So I have to ask the question, and Gary Vaynerchuk opened my eyes to this years ago. No one's good at hiring, but you got to get good at firing, right? So why didn't you fire that person?
That was the employee that led me to being quicker at firing.
Oh, okay. That was what led you to it. Great.
Yes.
Okay.
That was when I realized that, I can fire people. Like, that's my prerogative. I own the business. Like, if you're causing problems, whether they're real problems or behind the scenes problems or killing morale, then no, that's my job. My job is to literally fire you.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Well, that's your job as the business owner, is to make sure everybody else is in good spirits, has a good place to work. And if you have that one, I don't care how skilled they are. If you bring that one person in who just brings everybody else down, they got to go.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
See ya. I don't care.
Absolutely.
I don't care if you're great at doing what you do.
No.
I'll find somebody else.
Yes.
All right. For me, cash flow.
Oh,
Cash flow is a brutal nightmare for a company. And quite frankly, I don't care if you've been around for 1 year or 10 years.
Yeah.
Cash flow is a nightmare.
That's why. So I have a CMA on staff.
Yeah.
Certified management accountant.
Uh-huh.
And like, that was her thing, was like, when she came into the business, she started looking at our cash flow and she's like, oh, we got to fix this. So she started looking at it and she goes, okay, here's the 11 customers that always pay late that are messing with cash flow. Right. And she literally started hounding them. Those now started paying on time.
They don't want to hear from her.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
But cash flow is
a brutal, man. It is a brutal thing when it comes to doing this. And the problem is that, exactly like you said, you'll get customers or clients that just they're not doing. Some are, but most of them aren't doing it on purpose. It's like they're small business owners too. They're wearing 100 different hats. It slips their minds. Sometimes they don't have the money, and they don't want to tell you that. And what winds up happening is you have more money on the street than you can handle. Right.
Yes.
Meaning that you need a good portion of money just to pay payroll,
right,
let alone vendors and yourself.
Yes.
Right. God forbid you do that. Right. You can't expand without it. But you have all this money on the street, and it's like, if I had every dime of that right now, I could double my production. I could get more people, more machinery, but you don't. It's on the street, and you don't know if and when it's coming in.
It's funny because on the printing side of our business, we deal with a lot of like local electricians and the little local guys, right? And then we also deal with a lot of the bigger entities, right? And it's funny because we always send them a contract, right? So whenever we start working for them and they ask for terms, we send them a contract with the net days payable in it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times we get it back where they've crossed out our net terms and written in their own.
I love it.
Right. And I'm like, oh, so you want to be net 90, not net 30. Right. And we literally got into it with one company. I was like, I'm not taking you on at net 90.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll do net 60. And they're like, yeah. And when I was talking to her, she was really nice, right? Like, it wasn't really an issue. It was one of those, they're a giant builder, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, it takes 30 days from the time we get an invoice till the time it gets approved. And she's like, there's nothing I can do to cut down that time because of the sheer volume of invoices that we get, right? And I'm like, okay, I get it. And she's like, so the reason we put 90 is in case something gets overlooked or we don't get to it and we don't send the check out until day 55, right? And it doesn't get to you till day 67. We don't want to get hit with a late fee. And I'm like, oh, so it's about the late fees. And she goes, yeah, some of our vendors, like, they have high late fees on their stuff, right? So like, they just created this policy that they just try to get 90 days every time.
Yeah.
Just to not get hit with late fees. Not that they don't want to pay you. It's just.
No, I know.
So,
I get it.
So I was like, okay. I'm like,
what does that do for you? That doesn't help you though.
No. But like, once they explained to me why they had that process and it was about the late fees and all that, I agreed to net 60 terms, right?
You know what though? That's okay because you agreed to it. That's what you're expecting. You can forecast based off of that. What you can't forecast off is the one who says, I'll send the check in next week and then doesn't.
I can tell you what solved a huge cash flow issue for us is when we switched to QuickBooks, right? Mm-hmm. So there's an option to save credit card numbers in QuickBooks. Yeah. And you only see the last 4 digits and then the security code, right? So we started offering a lot of our smaller clients. So basically, if you were doing under, I think we cut it off at like $3,000 a month. We offered you that we would just process your credit card and you could just come pick up your drawings and they were already paid for.
Very cool.
99% of our clients were like, we can do that? You can do that for me? And I'm like, absolutely I can. I will gladly pay the 3% processing fee to get my money guaranteed in 2 days, right? Because it it helped with cash flow tremendously, right? Because we would have months where like it was the 28th and I'm like, please be a big enough deposit tomorrow,
No
right?
kidding.
To cover payroll, right? And it wasn't because we didn't have the, it wasn't that we didn't have the money. It's just the money was on the street, not in our bank account.
Right.
So yeah, figuring out your cash flow is huge.
Yeah. So that's, for me, has always been the biggest challenge. A lot of people will have the challenge of getting business, right? Especially when you're first starting out, that's always a challenge. I'm not going to say I didn't have that challenge, but it wasn't as challenging as some other things.
Right.
I've always had a good network.
Yeah.
And when I started my law practice, using that network was very beneficial to getting clients in pretty quickly. But even to this day, I still have cash flow problems. It's insane. The things that I want to do with the business sometimes I can't do because of cash flow issues.
Maybe you should hire an assistant.
A CMA. Maybe I should get an assistant. Yeah.
That actually does the collections for you and hounds people for the money.
That's a very good point. No, Gummy and I just right before we started the podcast, I did my second round of interviews with potential assistants for an assistant role, I should say, and I had Gummy sit in on that. So thank you very much for that. By the way, you had some clairvoyance into things. Really appreciate it.
It's always nice getting a second perspective. That's why, like when we do interviews, I try to always have two people in on them.
Yep.
At either the first or second interview, just because they sometimes see stuff that you don't. But
they do.
Yeah.
All right, so look at some of the comments. The very first one is employees, which we touched on. They're absolutely correct. I like this one: being responsible for everything and anyone. It's true.
Yep.
You are the plumber, electrician, IT expert, administrator, legal expert. You're everything.
Yes.
You are everything in the business at first.
At first, yeah.
That's it. And there's a lot of different hats to wear there.
I still remember when we had just hired I forget what it was. It was whatever number person it was at our office. And someone goes, the light bulb's out in the bathroom. And I'm like, well, I guess I know what I'm doing when everybody leaves.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's now my job.
Yep.
I'm not calling someone to go replace a light bulb.
My guys still come to me and say, yeah, and there's a problem in the bathroom with this. There's a problem over here with the light bulb, and this one's flickering. And it's like,
and
I guess I'm getting on a ladder right now.
Correct, right? Like,
forget about that. The complaint I was drafting with the judge that's going, I got to fix a light bulb.
Oh,
I know, it's frustrating.
I don't miss those days.
Time, but this one here is correct. Time management, which they said earlier in the post. Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones. Just being able to manage, because I know you have the same problem I do. Oh, excuse me. I'll walk in and I'll be like, all right, today I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And by the end of the day, I have gotten to neither this, or this, or this, or this, or this.
It's like my former mentor, the guy that I used to work for, right? So he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
And I always remember the one time I came in, he had just put me in like a management position, and I go to meet him at his house, and I'm like, I've gotten nothing done in the last 2 days. I've just been managing stuff, right? I'm like, I've had this to-do list, things that I plan doing. And he goes, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. And I'm like, that's what I feel like running a business is, right? Like, if you want to make somebody laugh, tell them you have a plan for the day.
Seriously.
Because whatever that plan is,
done.
It's a draft at best.
Yeah, it
right?
really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So anyway.
So that actually for me, just to touch on that, the thing that changed the most for me was when I started slotting time, right? So like Mondays and Tuesdays, I do certain things, right? Wednesday mornings from 8:30 to 10 are my time. Like that's the time if I'm researching something, if I'm trying to come up with a new process, like that time is mine. I don't go into the office. I don't have my phone with me. Like you can't get a hold of me for that time. Like that's my problem solving for the business time. Thursdays is my networking day, right? And same thing. I barely go into the office, and everybody in the office knows, don't call me unless it's an emergency, like true emergency. So when I started laying some fundamental things down on certain days, my productivity went up drastically.
Okay.
And I hands down recommend anybody that's starting a business is have certain time slots. It doesn't have to be like an all day thing. It can be 2 hours here, 3 hours here, where you're dedicating that time to something and you do it every week, always. because it just like a lot of small business owners, when you're starting up, like you have to do your marketing, right? Well, if you don't slot off an hour on Mondays between 10 and 11 and put it on your calendar and make it a routine, you're never going to make content or do the marketing. If you don't slot in time for networking or whatever it is that you are doing to grow the business, all the chaos and all the fires end up stopping you from doing the things you should be doing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, to me, it was important. Like there are certain things on my calendar, and I do those unless it has to be something significantly more important that comes up, right? But those have become like my precious slots of time where I take care of the stuff that has to be taken care of in order for the business to advance. But yeah, a lot of people end up just putting out fires all day. And then you talk to them a year later and they're in the same position a year later.
Yeah. And that happens to me a lot too. I have to, as much as I'd like to spend my weekends with my family sometimes my weekend is doing the stuff that I didn't get done during the week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't shut my phone off. I have to talk to my clients, I have to be ready to, like I'm running multiple companies. So I have multiple different personalities and things going on.
Yeah, I've gotten better at that too.
Have you?
The big thing for me was I stopped taking my phone to the bedroom. So like when I'm done for the day and I go upstairs, my phone stays downstairs.
Yeah.
So whenever I come down the next morning, I don't even pick up my phone for the first hour.
Oh, wow.
I go down, I do breakfast with my kids, I get them ready for school, I do all those things. Then as I'm about to walk out the door is when I will check my phone.
Gotcha.
But having that time to myself in the morning.
Yeah, and the kids.
Because a lot of times what would happen is I would look at something as soon as I got up and I'm like, shit, now I got to do this today, right? And it would literally ruin my first hour of the day because there was nothing I could do about it. I wasn't going to walk out the house earlier. Like I still have to get the kids off to school and stuff. So all it would do was just annoy me for an hour that I couldn't get to it. So how do you stop that? Don't check your phone.
Don't check your phone. Yeah.
Right? Like,
that's so hard. It's so hard.
Oh, trust
I can't
me.
imagine not doing
Dude,
that.
it took me probably a good 2 or 3 months to get into the habit of not checking my phone immediately upon getting up and going downstairs.
Yeah.
Like it was just make coffee, check my phone. That was the routine. And all I had to do was just, so what do you want to know how I actually ended up doing it? So what I would do is I would not charge my phone at night.
Uh-huh.
So when I got up in the morning, I had to charge my phone because I use 60-70% battery, right?
Yeah.
And now with the fast chargers, it takes about an hour to get the phone to 80%. So now when I get up in the morning, I grab my phone, I put it on the charger. So now it has to sit on the charger for an hour and I don't have to worry about going and getting it.
That's
like
interesting. I don't know if I had the discipline for that. All right. Anyway, analyst remat. Yeah. You obviously know what's going on.
Yeah.
I hope some of our information gave some more insights, but clearly you know what's going on. I'm sure you have every one of these problems that we talked about and what the people below are talking about in the comments too. But keep at it. That's business, man. But with all the great things that come with business, people don't realize all the bad things that come with it too. All the headaches that come with it. All right, moving on. This is from Zap CC, who says, what's the most terrifyingly outdated piece of technology or process holding a serious business together you've ever seen? Oh man, do I have a good one for this. But anyway, so his thing is the sheer amount of critical business operations still running on tech that feels like it's held together with duct tape. I'm not talking about just old tech, but things like a shared network drive structure named Final V2 Really Final. That is the entire project sign-off system. Oh my God. I've seen that. I've seen that in the past. Complex logic managed entirely through disconnected spreadsheet chains that always are highlighted, broken with pound ref sign, but just never seem to get fixed. I read about a parts supplier whose entire inventory reordering was triggered by an Excel workbook filled with complex macros written by a guy who ended up leaving the company. Nobody that was left there knew how the macros actually worked. They just knew that they didn't run exactly right every Tuesday. Orders got missed or duplicated. It's crazy, weirdly fascinating, and terrifying how stitched some companies work, but also how much risk companies they then carry because in their head it just works and there's no need to change it because it's too disruptive.
Yep.
What's the most unbelievable example you've personally encountered where a core business function was running on something completely archaic or fragile? Curious to hear some more stories.
I have one for
Oh
you.
man! Oh, please go ahead.
So we actually had a client that was running a couple of multi-million dollars of equipment. It's a machine that does something very specific.
Yeah.
Running on Windows 95.
95. Okay.
And they were scared that if they upgraded the computers, that the software for the machines would no longer work.
Well, yeah, it probably wouldn't.
Correct.
It's not going to work.
But,
especially 95 was
but think about how fragile
wasn't a 64 based operating system.
Think about if the hard drive in that computer goes, where are you going to get a reinstall of Windows 95?
I think you can download it. I think you can.
Can you?
Oh yeah, they have 95.
Oh, okay.
They have 95 emulators. You can actually use your browser and emulate Windows 95.
But that's an emulator. So now the question becomes, would the software run within the emulator?
Oh no, it does. Oh, there's Windows Bob. You know Windows Bob?
No.
Yeah, there was actually a version of Windows called Bob, and it is an emulator that you can run as well.
Oh, okay.
And you can run it through your browser, and it's almost like a virtual machine. You can run it inside of it. But
it was funny because like they literally had a little fence around the computer to protect it.
Yeah.
Like that's how, and I get it, right? Like, because if that piece of equipment went down, their business was at a halt, right? But like they had taken protective measures to protect the computer.
I want to say this was 2012, maybe 13. I was working for, I was still in law school, but I was working for a media company at the time. And I was the CIO, so I ran all their technology teams, right? And we used some, pretty, not state of the art, but pretty good recent stuff. Made some pretty complicated programs that were really good things. And we were trying to integrate with some other systems from other, it was a travel media company with some other travel suppliers like airlines and hotels and things like that. And we came across this one company that aggregated hotel bookings, not like an Expedia, but something similar to that.
So they're behind the scenes. They're the ones that feed all the Expedias and the Travelocity.
Not all of them, but they have some. They have software.
Yeah,
like
most
that.
people
Exactly.
don't realize that. Like Expedia, Amex Travel, Kayak.
Yeah,
they're all pulling from the same database.
Right.
Right. Like,
right. Well, that was the issue. The software they were running was an old 1980s IBM mainframe.
Wow.
I could not believe it. They were using COBOL to run this thing.
Wait, I know someone else that uses that same programming language.
I know. I heard about that too.
Right?
That was a little scary, but we'll let that go. I couldn't believe it. And then trying to integrate with them, there's no such thing as APIs or anything like that. So what they did was from what I gathered, I'm certainly not using any names here. From what I gathered was the mainframe would spit out information that could be copied and pasted into a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet would then be uploaded into a modern language, like at the time it was like .NET or PHP or something like that.
Yep.
And then it would feed the information into an API, which would then connect using SOAP or something like that.
Literally a manual step in between.
It was a manual step in between. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. We're trying to integrate their software, and I'm speaking to one of their engineers, and he's explaining this to me. I'm like,
would you believe?
How are you allowing this?
Would you believe that we have retirement paperwork in a mine still?
Again, we're not getting political.
It's not political.
We're not getting political.
But this is the type of stuff. Right? When you look at not just government, but some of these big entities. Like I remember talking to someone at Verizon, and I think it was someone in like tech support, but it was like escalated, like tier 2, 3, whatever they call it, right? So I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, "Oh, can you give me a second? I gotta log into this other system." I'm like, "What do you mean other system?" He's like, "Oh, we run 3 systems here because we acquired a couple of other providers and they were on different systems, and it's too much of a hassle to get the information out of it. So we're running on 2 different systems.
Never understood that.
And I'm like, you're Verizon.
Right. You're Verizon.
Right?
You are the system.
Right. Like you sell yourself as the technology provider for small businesses and all that stuff. And you're telling me that you're running 3 different systems. He's like, well, technically it's mostly 2. There's one that's only for a very specific customer set. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, can you at least see my history in both systems? He's like, no, 2 different histories. Like, oh, fantastic.
So funny that Zap CC here mentions the shared network drive final _V2 really final because I remember way back in the day, one of my first jobs out of college, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that where it was final. This is the final. And none of them were the actual final.
Right.
It was something that was named completely different. Didn't even have the word final in it.
Yes. Yes.
It's just like, who does this?
That you would be surprised. It was one of the, so when I bought the print shop or took over it, however you want to call it, that was one of the things I discovered is everything was running on an external hard drive, all the backup storage.
Very nice.
And someone would call and say, hey, I need to reorder business cards. And we'd be like, okay. So we would connect to the hard drive, right? We'd go in and find it because they were all dated, like what years the files were created. And then we would go and we would pull out, 2021.
Yep.
Right. That was the date that was logged that the business cards were designed. We'd go in, we'd find the final file, which wasn't always the final file. Sometimes the final file was the one that had the name of the person on it. And the final was really draft 3. So we would send that proof to the customer and they go, oh no, you guys updated the design since. So we would have to go to the 2022 because there was one file on that. And that was just the updated business card file. Oh, right. And
how much time are you losing here? I mean,
a lot.
Right, exactly. And as we talk about quite often, time is everything to a small business.
So we now are using a system that allows us to manage all of our customers, and we still use Dropbox, right? But the way this new system works is I can take a client and I can assign a folder in my Dropbox to that client. So whenever you log in, you go to that client, you click on the folder. Yeah. It's technically a Dropbox folder that it's pulling up. Just doing that simplified things.
Yeah.
And then actually having a standard operating procedure for how to name files, that was huge, right? Like the amount of time we saved looking for designs and stuff. Like the simplest thing we did, this was the first rule that I implemented, is that no file can be saved without the name of the customer being there.
Yeah.
Right? So it would be Turkanian Law business card, right? V1. It couldn't just be business card V1.
Okay. Even if it's under the
folder.
Okay.
It had to have the customer name in the file name. Just that alone probably saved us hours every week. Right? So this is before we implemented the other system. Because now what you could do is you could go in and you can type in Turkanian business card. And it pulls up the file instead of pulling up your folder. Then I have to go to the folder. Then I have to go to the final files. Then I have to go to your business card.
Interesting.
So just naming conventions alone saved us a ton of time from a search perspective.
Yeah.
And same thing. Now when everything is cataloged, it's named properly so we know what everything is and where it is. Like it's little things.
It is. Oh man, I don't know. Zap, there's so many things like that are going on.
By the way, totally out of left field.
Sure.
If you want to get someone to organize this type of stuff, do you know what type of person you look for that has what type of education?
Good.
Librarians.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
This is what they do.
That's beautiful. Yes, it is.
Like nobody learns more about file organization, cataloging.
Than a librarian.
Librarians.
What a great idea. You just come up with that?
I just remembered because a buddy of mine is a librarian, and he is not the stereotype. Like when you think librarian, right? Like he is not the stereotype. He is like, he looks like he was cut out of a 70s hippie movie with like the crazy hair, watches soccer all the time. And he's just like, he's nothing like, if I pulled him out right now, a picture of him, you'd be like, that guy is not a librarian, right? Like it does not match anything in your head. His wife, librarian as well. You would be like, she's a librarian, isn't she? Right? Like,
by the way, I'm showing Gummy a depiction of Windows Bob. This is Bob right here. What a fantastic operating system. You'd go around the room and you click on certain things, you click on certain books, calendars right there.
Go to another room.
It's so great. It was like, here's your Rolodex right here for your contacts. It was an interesting idea, but man, the dog's the best though. I love the dog.
The dog, yeah. That's like Clippy.
No, it's not like Clippy. No, we like dogs. We don't like Clippy.
Clippy.
All right, so moving on from ZapCC.
Was that the biggest Microsoft fail ever? Clippy?
No, I think the Zune was.
Oh.
They put so much money into the Zune.
Yeah.
And so much advertising into it, and it just never.
No.
It couldn't compete with the iPod. There's no way.
I was hoping they would bring Clippy back with AI.
Clippy. You know what? I'm going to do that just for you.
You're going to make an AI.
I'm going to make it a Clippy emulator that's an AI assistant.
Well, rather than
just for you.
Rather than, what do they call it now? The Microsoft, the assistant, the AI assistant. What do they call it?
Clio.
No, is it Clio?
CLIO.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was hoping they would literally bring Clippy back, just smart.
No Clippies.
Okay.
All right. So ZapCC, yeah, dude, there's so much stuff like that.
Yeah.
We could probably do a whole podcast just on outdated technology.
As a business owner, if your system isn't working for you early on in your business, don't try to limp through it. Go find the software that'll solve 95% of your problems.
Yeah. Or contact someone like me who'll make it for you.
Right. It's easier to do that when things are smaller and manageable.
Yeah.
Than like when we transitioned to our last system, I didn't realize we had something like 1,400 different clients that we have old designs for.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't want to just dump this stuff because every once in a while I'll get that phone call. Hey, you designed my business card back in 2020.
Right.
I'm like, oh, you finally went through the 500 business cards?
No.
No, but I can look you up.
All right, moving on. This is from Eastern Bad 7819, who says, what's one small change you made to your website that actually made a difference in showing up more online? Oh, this has got you written all over it.
It's SEO.
We added a super simple FAQ section at the top of a key page, just answering the most common questions we get in plain English. Not only did it help with SEO, but we're seeing better engagement and people actually sticking around longer. So I'm curious, what's one small change you've made? Copy, design, SEO, whatever, that actually moved the needle for you. Why am I yawning?
I don't know. Normally it's a lack of oxygen.
Yeah, but I'm breathing just fine. I don't know. It's a little warm in here, but maybe that's
it. It is warm in here.
It is warm in here. All right. Anyway, Gummy.
Yes.
What's one small change?
So it depends on what you're currently working with, right? We tell people all the time, a website just goes live. It's never done.
No. Yeah. Just like any software.
Right. It depends on what you're working with, what changes you make. We're like, let's take Amazon. One small change that they made was to add a buy now button, which was an instant checkout instead of having to add it to their cart and go through a checkout process. Their sales skyrocketed when people could literally just click done, right? Simple change, right? Like tiny change. We have clients where we did something as simple as change their sitemap structure, meaning the order of the buttons.
Yeah.
Right. And that made a huge difference. And the thing is, if you actually look at the data, if you do something as basic as look at your analytics, it'll tell you what pages people are clicking on, how long they're staying on that page, so on and so forth. Right. So if you have a page that you think is important because it's like your main sales page, and people are barely getting there and not staying on the page long enough to even be able to read it, that page probably needs to stand out a little bit more, and you need to fix it so that people are spending more time on it, right? You can get heat maps that you can overlay, right? So you can see how people are navigating through your website. And sometimes the simplest change you can make that has measurable changes are your calls to action, right? So instead of saying click here to learn more, start now, right? Like that one tiny little change can have a drastic impact on how people navigate through a website.
It can, yeah.
Now for the SEO side of things, then yeah, Google loves FAQs, especially if they're structured correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more technical SEO type stuff, but yeah, Google loves FAQs. They love simple, common language that people actually use. So yeah, there's a bunch of like little things, and that's, I mean, part of the SEO and the marketing process is exactly this. It's taking these little things and then the compounding effect that they have.
So this person, am
the click to call, making sure phone numbers are click to call.
Oh, sure.
That you can actually push the phone number.
Go call the person.
That's a minor thing you can do if your website doesn't allow it.
This one I like, and I know you're right on board with this. One Chinese change that worked for us, they said, was swapped out jargon heavy headings with how people actually search. Like instead of our capabilities, we changed it to what can we help you with?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great advice. That's exactly what someone would put into a search engine.
Remember when I was talking to the lady that does advanced movement therapies for dogs.
Yep.
Right? That is the technical term for what she does. And I asked in a room of 70 people, who here would think of searching of advanced movement therapy for dogs, right? And nobody raised their hand. And then I asked them, okay, how many here would look up doggy chiropractor or doggy physical therapist? And half the room.
Yeah, hands went up. Yeah.
Right? So when you're building out the content on your website, you have to build it around the user, not around you. Like I see a ton of websites where people are getting like super technical and detailed. And I'm like, the user, first of all, will never search for this because they don't know the technical terms. And I've used this example before, right? With a power washing company, where we thought power washing would be the key word to go after. And it ended up not being. It ended up being patio cleaning, house washing, washing my house, right? Like, because that's the stuff people were actually searching for. So by shifting our focus away from like what the technical term is for what you do versus what people want to call it, that's the language you should have on your website, right? Like,
no, that's a good point.
We can soft wash your house. No. We can just wash your house.
Yeah.
They don't need to know whether it's soft washing or power washing or,
because that's not what people are searching for.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's a good point.
How to clean my siding.
I mean, it really does come down to SEO more than anything. It does. It comes down to SEO more than anything else.
A lot of it, I would even argue that it comes down to just understanding humans, right? Is understanding how someone searches for something. Like you and I had this where remember I was telling you that we had gotten the LeTip website ranking for all kinds of stuff. And you went, oh, let me Google it the way I would, right? And
it came up, sure.
But it's because we optimized it for how people search and what they search for, rather than the technical terms, right?
Rather than the marketing terms, right?
Not even just the marketing, because technically, like our networking group is technically referral-based networking.
Yeah.
Right? But if I optimize for referral-based networking, how many people
No one's typing that in.
Nobody's looking for that because most people don't even know what it is.
Right.
They just search for business networking near me or business networking group, right? And then they happen to discover what that is. But that's a lot of what optimization is about. So
at the bottom of this, one of the comments, they talk about this tool.
Oh.
Do you know what this is?
It's the schema markup.
Yeah. What's that all about? I haven't seen this.
It's how you structure your data.
But it says it helps you rank with ChatGPT and LLM.
Yeah,
what is that all about?
They all use the schema markups to sort information.
I've never seen this.
You have.
Have I?
Yes. You just, in your world, it's called something else.
Okay.
So basically think of it as, so you can have a schema. So let's use a really simple schema. So let's take a small business schema, right? So normally on a small business schema, you would have predetermined fields, so to speak.
Yep.
That would be business name, business address, business phone number, right? Like So the schema just tells the search engines and the LLMs what the information actually is in a structured way.
Oh, okay.
So like you can have a schema for blog, you can have a schema for news, you can have a schema for.
It sounds like XML. All right. So, but here's my question.
It's kind of, yes.
Okay, but here's my question.
Yes.
It says ranking on ChatGPT. What is that?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? What do you mean ranking on ChatGPT?
People use GPT as a search engine now.
I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, I did a video on this the other day.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was telling people that, SEO in the age of AI is going to be just as important as it was in the age of search engines.
I mean, it makes perfect sense.
Right? Because we look at AI now, like GPT, people are going to start calling it an answer engine, not a search engine. Well, if it has to go out and get relevant information, it literally uses the same process.
So how do you rank for ChatGPT?
By making sure your schemas and everything is set up properly. Let's do a quick test.
Okay.
Oh, do you have ChatGPT?
Really?
Well, do you have it easily? Okay. Okay. So type in plumber Warrington or plumbers in Warrington.
So it searches the web.
Mm-hmm.
It's not using a search engine. It's its own search engine.
Kind of. Right. So what we're going to do next is open up Bing. You can do that while it's doing that. And you can open up Google and type in the same search.
Okay.
Okay. So Warrington Plumbing Heating that's the maps results. And then Warrington Plumbing is the top rated result. And then, Bill Fresco. They're good people. Now, that was Google, right?
Yep.
So on there, the first organic result is what? Those look like they're paid. So call it. So plumber Warrington is there. Oh, that's not the same one. It's a different one. $49 plumbers. Okay. So totally different results.
Okay.
So they've now integrated the maps, which they hadn't previously. So
that's
Warrington,
the only one I saw there. Grade A plumbing wasn't even in there. Interesting.
Okay.
So
let's click on one of those sites. Go into it. Click.
Let's check on this one.
Yep. Okay.
Grade A plumbing.
Okay. Now right click, view source,
yep.
And then search for schema. There you go.
Interesting. I'll have to tear this apart later on. I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah, so it's basically it's structured information. The schema tells the search engine, tells GPT, whatever. All
right, I'll take a look at this later on. This is kind of cool. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so there are several standardized schemas available, and then you can build your own if you have, let's say you put together a combination of a blog with an FAQ, with a small business all on one page, you can build a custom schema that tells it this section is the blog, this section is the FAQs, this section is the small business information, right?
Very cool.
Or the NAP, name, address, phone number, right?
All right. I'll take a look. I don't know enough about it yet to talk intelligently.
I have someone on staff, and this is part of her job
I like it. It's pretty cool.
Is basically going in and making sure the schema setup on every page is correct. That's part of technical SEO.
All right.
This is why
I don't know.
SEO companies, we also have a software that'll go in and double check it, and then Google Search Console will send you notifications if your schema markup
very cool.
is incorrect, or if you have missing items in your schema.
Yeah.
Like if you have the wrong schema, that's let's say it's a small business, it's name, address, phone number, but there's no phone number, you'll get a notification from Search Console that item missing. And
I know you do that with the sitemap. It will tell you when your sitemap was wrong.
Yeah. So that's sitemap is like 101.
Yeah. This
is like 103, right? Like.
All right. So Eastern Bad 7819. Yeah, a lot of it, like I said, revolves around the search engine optimization, which in itself, it breaks down into a million different parts, and a million different ways that you can make that better.
And a lot of content management systems have built-in schemas. So they'll ask you what type of page are you doing?
Right.
And you'd select informational. Then they have that schema. If you say it's a product, they have the product schema already marked into it.
Very cool.
So that's part of what makes Shopify, for example, very good, is that they've fine-tuned this process down to like a science. So you don't have to know any of it. They take care of all of it on the back end.
All right. We're going to move on to one more here. This is from Baby Shark 21. This is more of a PSA than a question.
Okay.
But this is a very important PSA. In fact, I'm teaching a class on this right now at the college online course, but we're in week 5 of 8.
Okay.
Anyway, so this is from Baby Shark 21 who says, cybersecurity basics for small business owners, what I wish I knew more of. As someone working in cybersecurity and helping small businesses improve their security posture, I've seen firsthand how vulnerable small organizations can be due to a lack of awareness and resources. Here's what I wish I knew more for small business owners when it came to cybersecurity. Number 1, you are a target. No one is too small. We'll go through one at a time. We'll talk about it a little bit.
We got targeted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like big time. So
well, hold on. Let me read this. Hackers often go after low-hanging fruit. Automated bots scan the internet for vulnerabilities regardless of your business size. If you handle customer data and or payment info, you're definitely at risk. So go ahead.
So the next one, email is the biggest vulnerability.
Oh, okay. You want to start with that? Okay.
Yeah. No, so here's what happened is my CMA, right, clicked on something in a phishing email that required her to log into Microsoft. She entered her username and password, and she's like, didn't think any of it. Like, it just didn't log her in. It just redirected her somewhere. And she didn't give it a second thought because she was busy, right? And then like 9 days later, she's at a networking event with our banker, and the banker comes up to her and says, hey, I'm sorry I haven't gotten the information to your new accountant yet. And she's like, what new accountant? What are you talking about? Right? So she forwards me the email chain, and there had been an entire email chain between supposedly my employee, an accounting firm that didn't exist but had a valid email address, asking to be added to our online banking, all coming from my finance lady, like legit coming from her email address. So I was like, how did they do this? So the first thing I did was I logged into her Outlook online and looked up the rules. There was a rule in there. Anything that had this email address CC'd went into this random folder, RSS feeds, which nobody ever checks. And lo and behold, all the emails in and out, that's where they were going. So the hackers, if you want to call them that, literally didn't raise any suspicion because they just logged into her email, set up a custom rule, went through her email, figured out who our banker was, and started emailing with the banker. And like, she checks her email every day, multiple times a day. Never noticed it. If it wasn't for the fact that the banker said something, she was literally that day about to give a hacker full access to our online banking.
So and yes, that's the third thing here. Email is your biggest vulnerability, and that's a fantastic story. And I've seen that happen multiple times as well. The no one is too small. I mean, this happened. This is a perfect example of this. Fortunately, I know a lot about cybersecurity. I know a lot about phishing scams and things like that. When it's got to be just a couple of months. I opened up after I opened my practice. Within a couple of months, I started getting emails from potential clients, quote unquote. And what they were is it's a scam. What they do is I figured it out real quick because something didn't make sense. They basically say, usually it's either they're buying a piece of equipment or they're buying a business, and they want you to represent them in the transaction because they're out of the country. First red flag, out of the country. Then it's like, oh wait, you want me, who you've never dealt with before, to represent you in this $5 million deal, right? It's kind of fishy. And then they say, we want to send you a retainer. Okay, so the first couple of them, I cautiously followed through with to see what was going on. I had a feeling they were scams, and I knew right away, right after my first response, they were scams. But I wanted to see how far they take it. So what they do is they get your confidence and they say, okay, yeah, we'll sign your agreement. We'll send you a retainer. And I'd say to them, okay, give me a retainer of $2,000. No, we're going to send you more than that. We're going to send you a retainer for 20 grand or something like that. And someone who's not suspecting be like, yeah, sure. Hey, why not? Right. And what they do is after you get the check, they'll ask you a few days later, have you cashed it yet? And you'll say yes. And they'll say, okay, the deal is off. Please send us our money back. And they're expecting you to send a check that day. Why? Because the check that you cashed hasn't bounced yet at the bank. It usually takes 4, 5, 10 days for the bank to bounce a check. So they'll want you to send a check right away to them. And if you don't, they're threatening, I'm going to contact the bar association. I want to contact the attorney general. We're going to leave you horrible reviews. And some people will jump and say, okay, here's your money back. And you sent them a legitimate check for 20 grand. And by the time your check gets to them and they've cashed it before you can, when it's too late to do anything, then you find out that your check bounced, the one that they sent you originally. And now you're out 20 grand. So it doesn't matter how big or small you are. This is, this happens all the time. Number 2 on here, strong passwords in MFA aren't optional. Using a password manager and enabling multi-factor authentication for all business accounts is essential. This is an easy fix and helps a lot. Costs you absolutely nothing. And they're right. Passwords, use a password gen tool. Like I love LastPass personally. So it's what I use all the time. I have it on my phone. I have it on my computer. And I have only my wife knows the master password to my LastPass account. I mean, I know it too, of course, but my wife knows it. And then I just use my facial recognition to open it up. Anytime I get a new account, I create a brand new password, because what password harvesters do is they'll create a website where, hey, sign up to take this survey kind of thing, blah, 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 and get all your friends to do it too, like the Facebook trends. And you go and do it, and you'll create an account and use the same password that you use for your email, that you use for your bank, that you use for this, that, or the other. And I would say 3, 4, 5 out of 10 people do that.
Yeah.
And I have your email address now, and I have the password you used on this password harvesting site, and I can access your email, which means I can access your bank accounts.
Yep.
And it's crazy because people allow this to happen to themselves.
Just go through. They can try logging in with Chase. They can try logging in with Facebook. They can try logging. Yeah.
And they don't even, sometimes if they have access to your Gmail or something, they'll know what bank accounts you have just by doing a search.
Yep. It's like, I love those Facebook ones. Your superhero name is the street you grew up on.
I know, and people do it all the time.
And I'm like, you've
just given them
verification
information when they contact your bank.
Like,
all right, 3, as we pointed out earlier, email is your biggest vulnerability without question.
Yep.
Phishing emails are one of the top attack methods, like 80% of attacks going on in the world today. Train your employees and yourself to recognize them. Think before clicking, especially if the email pressures you to act fast or tries to bribe you. My favorite one of these is when it's the president of the company contacting you because the email has been spoofed, saying to, I don't know, some HR representative or assistant or something like that, I need you to wire $10,000 to this account immediately, no questions asked. I can't talk right now, just do it. No idea how many times people do it.
Really?
Oh yeah, you have no idea how many times people will panic and take and just access the account and send the money out. And it's crazy how often that happens. Another way this happens a lot is people will intercept invoices from one company to their customers or to their vendors for bills. And so company A sends an invoice to customer B. Customer B's email has been hacked, right? So, I'm sorry, to vendor B. Sorry, vendor B. Vendor B's email has been hacked. Vendor B will contact company A and say, we have a new bank account we want you to send the money to. Please send it to here, all $50,000. And they send it over. No one's the wiser. No one has any clue what happened because now those emails are erased.
Correct.
2 months go by and vendor B contacts company A. Hey, where's our money? What are you talking about? We paid you. Right. No, you didn't. Here's the receipt showing that we paid you. That's not our bank account. Well, here's the email thread from your account saying to pay you here. Who's responsible? Right? We don't know. Sometimes it's not clear who's responsible for something like that, but that's $50,000 that's gone and someone's got to take the hit.
Yep.
So email, big deal. Regular updates. Keep your software, your systems, and your plugins updated. Outware software is like open doors for hackers. I would have to say 60% of the reason why you get software updates is to close loopholes, close back doors, close ways into the software.
Yep.
It's less about better features and more about fixing security issues.
Most of the Microsoft updates are security updates.
They're security updates, absolutely. And don't say, oh, what bad software. Look how big Microsoft Windows is. Look at how many different programs and sub-processes and stuff that are running. There's absolutely going to be vulnerabilities everywhere. And if they catch them, they fix them. That's great. Don't blame them for it.
Wasn't it Microsoft that used to have a hackathon that if you could hack into, and then they would hire the people that were able to do it?
Yeah. I think
that was
they
like
still
years
do
ago.
I think they still do something today.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. White hat hacking is still a very big deal, where people are doing it for legitimate reasons to find vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
There are bounties out there, reward programs. So there's a lot of really good white hat hackers out there.
I happen to know one that used to do it for the UN.
There you go.
Yeah.
Was your wife?
No.
Oh,
my wife.
I don't know.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Backups equals business insurance. Have a regular automatic backups of your critical data. Ideally, one copy should be offline and in a separate cloud account. Efficient backups are your lifeline.
Yep.
This is a hedge against any type of blackmail, any type of what is it called when they shut your network down?
Yeah, when they ransomware.
Ransomware. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, this is a definite hedge against ransomware by doing it this way.
It was funny because like I'm a backup fanatic.
Yeah.
And it was funny because my computer broke the other day, my laptop, right? And my lady goes, "How long till you're back up and running?" And I'm like, "I don't know, an hour?" She's like, "But it's everything on your computer." And I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
So I went to Best Buy, grabbed the computer, took it back to the office. Probably an hour total with running to Best Buy.
Yeah.
I was back up and running as if nothing happened.
Yeah. With the exception of your ideal situation is, which is funny because this is how it used to be way back in the day. Your computer is nothing more than a terminal.
Correct.
These days is what it should be.
Yeah.
You install your applications that you need to install, but you can freely download them at any time. All the critical sensitive data is stored on multiple clouds and hopefully maybe even like some type of offline system.
We do both.
Yeah. Use antivirus, firewalls, and secure Wi-Fi. Basic security tools help keep threats out. Make sure your Wi-Fi is password protected and segment networks if possible. This separates guests from customer access from internal business systems.
Yep.
I cannot tell you how many Wi-Fi systems are still using like WFA, the encryption. There's WFA and
SPF? No.
No. It's
it's WEP and
WEP. It's all the older ones. All the ones that were under
the same that we used to use for emails.
Yeah, right. Under what was it, 1108A or whatever the code was. They're so easy to break. Any kid with a kiddie script could write a brute force attack to tackle one of those. They're very easy to get into. You need stronger encryption. You know what? One of the really bad things to do. Never, ever, 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 ever. And if I didn't say ever, I mean ever. Buy a router or a switch or a modem or something like that from a secondhand store.
Oh yeah, no.
People do all the time. And what they don't realize is there's a lot of times there's malware in there where though your access is now your network's completely accessible from an outside intruder, and they have access to everything on your network, everything, and that includes when you log in at night from your work laptop, they have access to all that too.
Yep.
And they think, hey, look at that! I get a Linksys router for $10. Yeah, it just cost you everything.
Yeah. So
be careful with that. Don't DIY everything. You don't need to be an expert, but a consultation with a cybersecurity professional can go a long way. And your people are your first line of defense.
Yep.
Cybersecurity is a team effort. Educate your staff continuously. Even just a monthly 10-minute refresher can reduce the risk of human error.
Yep.
And bonus tip, if you ever feel overwhelmed, prioritize these 3 things first. Secure your email, secure your backups, and train your people. Everything else can be layered on over time.
Yep.
Baby Shark 21, I'd give you a hug if you were here because you're absolutely right. Everything in here is spot on.
And people don't appreciate this until they have a problem, right? Everybody thinks that they're safe until they're not.
Right.
Right. Like, and you and I have both seen this happen to businesses. And what's funny is like, the more sensitive information your business deals with, like I still know when CPAs are starting out, for example, a lot of times they don't take into account their home networks. They're really good at the office, right? And everything is secured, everything is great, but don't give it a second thought the moment they come home because we think of home as safe.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But the reality is, if you have a laptop that you take to and from the office, your home is just as vulnerable.
As vulnerable as anywhere else. Yeah.
Well, what was it? Was it Target where the guy walked in and stuck a USB plug in a computer inside? I think that was the last.
It might
Target.
be. I don't know, but it's that simple. It is. It's that simple.
Yeah, it was funny because when I was involved in a project years ago where they were going to build server centers, like DoD standard server centers.
Okay.
And it was funny because I was like, oh, all the digital security and blah, blah, blah. And like, I was all into that. And it was funny because we got a guy really high up in the US government that came to us. And I was talking to him and he goes, the reality for us is we're not so worried about the hackers. We're worried about people physically breaking in now. I was like, what? And he's like, the odds of someone hacking our systems is tiny. We actually have a higher risk of someone breaking into a server center and accessing the data that way.
Oh, physically. I see.
Physically breaking in.
Breaking in, you meant breaking into their data.
Yes.
I think it meant breaking into the store.
No, so break into the facility to get access to the data.
Get access to the data. Right. Yeah.
I was like, wait, that's more of a threat? And they're like, yeah. Like that's weird, but
so I don't know, man, but Baby Shark 21 nailed it. So thank you very much for that. And I think that's it for today.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we are good. It's getting hot in this office.
It is getting very hot, and it's gonna get hotter.
It's gonna get hot. Well, so the
I'm gonna start wearing shorts.
The property manager. The reason I was texting a minute ago, the property manager actually wrote me asking if there was an issue with the AC, and I was like, as a matter of fact, there is. You might want to come over and check that out.
When do you get the new building?
Yeah, I know. That's soon enough. Probably definitely by the time this goes online, we should be in that new spot, but we'll see. So anyway, man, great episode. Love it. Always fun.
It's fun.
And
I'm gonna laugh about that squirrel story.
The squirrel story is great.
Well into the night.
The squirrel story is so great, man. When that squirrel jumped off my shoulder and my buddy's head, we lost it. So, all right, man. You have a great weekend, and we'll talk next time.